my name is Madeline and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a lot of books to share with you that I purchased way back in May, and then some that my parents brought me when they visited. So a big old book haul for you today. But before we get into that, I didn't want to let any more time pass before I kind of acknowledge my 1-year anniversary on BookTube, which was in July. I took a bit of a break from BookTube this summer, so I didn't really do anything. I didn't really post anything about it, but I just want to thank you for being here and watching and interacting with my videos. It's been such a joy. It's been so much fun this past year. Getting to talk about books and getting to interact with so many of you. It's just brought me so much happiness, and so thank you very much for that. I had plans to do like one of the BookTube anniversary tag videos, but that just didn't happen this summer, and that's okay. But I didn't want to completely ignore it. I wanted to say something and just express my gratitude for you for being here. So thank you very much. Without further ado, we're here for the books, so let's get into the book haul. The first book I have is actually right behind me, and I didn't want to take it out before because it belongs there. But that is this gorgeous edition of Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. This was a birthday present that I got back in December for my birthday, and I wasn't able to bring it back in my suitcase, so my parents brought it when they came this summer, and she is absolutely stunning. I will open it up and show you. There are all of these small illustrations. There are all of these floral illustrations on the pages, and I think there are some bigger illustrations too. Yeah, there's this one. I think they're all floral kind of illustrations. There's nothing like characters or anything like that. But almost every page has some sort of illustration, and then there are this other edition of Little Women that I have. There are paper inserts. So this one is a map of Massachusetts, and so you open it up and you have this map, and I just love when books have fun extra things to open. It's so special. So yeah, this is just an absolutely gorgeous, stunning edition of Little Women, and I now have my little collection of Louisa May Alcott books behind me, and I'm so excited to add this to it. We'll go along in theme of another gorgeous classic, and that is this edition of Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. This is the Puffin and Bloom edition. So now I have Emma and Sense and Sensibility, so I just need Pride and Prejudice. But these are just so stunning. I love the florals, and they're really pretty, and papers inside as well. I love the size of these too. They're chunky, but they're kind of little, and I'm just really excited to reread Sense and Sensibility from this edition because I have a cloth-bound edition of Sense and Sensibility, but I just don't really like reading from the cloth bounds, so I'm excited to have this edition that I think will be a little bit more readable. Not Jane Austen, but Jane Austen related is this book, Jane Austen's Bookshelf by Rebecca Romney. I saw so many people have this on their Jane Austen July TBRs, so I'm really excited to watch some wrap-up videos and see what people thought of it, but I think it's going to be really amazing. Rebecca Romney is the book expert on, is it Pawn Stars? I think so. I think it's Pawn Stars that she appears on sometimes. But anyway, this book looks at a bunch of female authors who inspired Jane Austen. We have Frances Burney, Anne Radcliffe, Charlotte Lennox, Hannah More, Charlotte Smith, Elizabeth Inchbald, Hester Lynch Thrale Piozzi, and Mariah Edgeworth. So some of them I've heard of, some of them I haven't. I'm really excited. I feel like this will be a good overview and give me some ideas of Jane Austen related kind of books to read, and I just love learning about different authors and their backgrounds, and I think these women will be really interesting to learn about. So I am very excited for this. Just continue on with the classics. I have mostly classics and then some children's books. So And another classic is Daniel Deronda by George Eliot. This was on Kate Howe's list of favorite Victorian books. I think it was like her top 25 Victorian books. And Daniel Deronda, if I'm not mistaken, was pretty high on that list. And so I absolutely want to read it. This is a very old Penguin edition, and there are some like markings in the text. It's only like the first 50 pages or so, so I think it'll be okay. But yeah, I'm excited to read this. It is absolutely massive though, so I'm not sure when I'm going to get to this, but I have it for whenever I want to. October is coming, and so I had to stock up on some Victorian literature. And I have my first Anthony Trollope, which is Barchester Towers. This is actually the second book in the series. The first is The Warden, which I have not read yet. But I've heard that this one is like much better than The Warden, that you kind of have to like get through The Warden and then you're rewarded with Barchester Towers. But yeah, I really enjoy these editions. Like the font is a good size, I feel, and they're like nice and floppy, these older penguins with the black spines. So I was really excited to find this at the used bookstore for €2. An excellent find. Anthony Trollope is one of these authors who I really need to prioritize this Victober because I just want to read something by him and I haven't yet, and he has such an extensive collection. So I'm sure I will find something this Victober to start with in Anthony Trollope. And then I have this absolutely massive Thomas Hardy collection of 4 of his novels. I don't usually go for these like massive collections, but it was €2, and I was like, even if there's just one novel that I want to read in here, like it's still worth it, you know. And there was more than one, so I was like, I have to do it. But this has Under the Greenwood Tree, Far from the Madding Crowd, which I already own in another edition, The Return of the Native, and the Mayor of Casterbridge. So The Return of the Native is the one that I was really excited to read. That's on my list. Again, I think it was a Kate Howe, one of her favorite Victorian books. So I am excited to read that one. I do really enjoy Thomas Hardy, what little I've read from him, and so I'm excited to give that a try. This one isn't awful. Like, it's nice and floppy, which I feel like you need if it's a giant book. The text is kind of small. I don't think I really noticed that, but I don't think it's too bad. Like, I think it's totally manageable. But yeah, a massive edition of Thomas Hardy. This particular used bookstore always has a ton of P.G. Wodehouse, so I feel like I have to start building up my collection of P.G. Wodehouse. And I got Sunset at Blandings, which is his last novel, I believe it says. Yeah, so he wrote this at 93. He was 93 years old. That is absolutely crazy. And what's really interesting in this book is that there's like a whole bunch of like notes, and I don't know exactly what's going on in the story at this point, so I don't really know what it is, but like it's really interesting kind of format. So I'm kind of intrigued by this, and we'll see how it is. I do really like P.G. Wodehouse. Then I found this little orange spined penguin edition of The Power and the Glory by Greene. This is another one that I've just been meaning to read for a long time. It's like on every list of classic Catholic novels that you should read. I've heard so many people say lots of good things about this book, so I'm really excited. And yeah, it was in pretty good condition, this little paperback. So this takes place in Mexico during the anti-clerical purge, and we're following a priest. And I don't want to know too much more about this, honestly. Like, I kind of want to go in not knowing a lot, but I'm really excited about a Mexico setting. I really enjoy books that are set in Mexico or the like American Southwest. I always really enjoy that setting, so I'm pretty excited about this. And then I picked up another one of these orange spine penguins, and this is Scoop by Evelyn Waugh. And I was just like, I was immediately drawn in by this cover. It's so funky and weird, and I kind of love it. But the back of this one says, Lord Cooper, the newspaper magnate, prided himself on a flair for discovering ace reporters, but owing to a slight case of mistaken identity, the man he picked to cover the Civil War in the African Republic of Ishmaelia was less than a novice at the business. Scoop is an irreverent novel about Fleet Street and its hectic pursuit of hot news, narrated with all of Evelyn Waugh's exuberant sense of satire. So I think I heard something about this book recently, something positive. Someone really enjoyed it. So I am excited. I have Brideshead Revisited, and I tried to read it a couple months ago, and it just was not the right time. But I'm hoping that I will love that book because so many people who have similar taste in reading love Brideshead, and so I'm hoping that I will also enjoy some of Evelyn Waugh's other works. And I mean, this was just such a fun little cover, so I had to. Right, I have two mysteries. The first is The Floating Admiral. This is by Agatha Christie, Dorothy L. Sayers, and G.K. Chesterton, which I did not know that there were books written by all three of them. And that's honestly all I need to know, like, going in. I'm really, really intrigued by this. So apparently there is each author's proposed solution to the mystery. So, like, maybe it's not, like, it doesn't give you what happens in the story. You have to read, like, each author's interpretation, which would be interesting to see kind of who I agree with on it. But yeah, I'm excited. I don't know if this is any good, like a mystery written by several different authors. I don't know if that's gonna be any good or not, but I'm eager to give it a try. And if you've read this, let me know. Is it good? Did you like it? This was not really a book I picked out. It was a book that was just left at my house after my parents came to visit. My dad was reading this and he finished it and left it for me to read. And that is To Catch a Thief by David Dodge. This is part of the Library of Congress crime classics. I have not read a lot of like American, you know, mysteries, American like detective fiction. So I'm excited to give this a try. It takes place in the French Riviera. And yeah, I don't know too much else about it, but I think it'll be interesting. Time for some of the children's books. So I have Just So Stories by Rudyard Kipling. This was another one of the €2 books that I found at the used bookstore, and I couldn't pass it up because it's a nice little puffin edition. This, I'm sure, is going to be super funny and just really entertaining and a lot of fun to read. I am excited. There are some little illustrations. Nothing too crazy in this book, but I think this will be a lot of fun, and I'm really, really excited to read this. Maybe I will try to get to it like towards the end of summer. It feels like kind of summery, you know? I'm gonna get to this in August. Then I have two Vanderbeeker books. So The Vanderbeekers and The Hidden Garden, and The Vanderbeekers Lost and Found. These are books 2 and 4, I believe, in the Vanderbeeker series. So I am missing book 3, but I will get that at some point. But I loved the first book in this series. I'm so excited to continue on with it now that I especially have the physical copies, because I wanted to read it in the physical book. But the second book has lots of autumnal vibes, so I think I will get to this maybe in September, because I'm just so excited. And the last book I have here is Comet in Moominland by Tove Jansson. I read Moomin Valley in November this past fall and really enjoyed it. It's kind of weird, but like once you get past it being kind of weird, it's very cozy and a very wholesome kind of book. And I'm excited to read this one. I have some Moomin figurines from when I was a kid, and I really enjoy kind of the nostalgic aspect of this. Again, I love the Moomins. Like, they're so sweet, and the writing in this was really beautiful, or the writing in Moomin Valley in November was really beautiful. I remember just being blown away by some of the descriptions, and I always love that in children's literature when the writing still feels like top tier. It doesn't feel like they dumbed it down for kids. It's still just super beautiful and poetic, and I love that. So I'm hoping that there will be more of that in this Moomin book. And I mean, €2 for a hardback book is absolutely fabulous. So pretty excited about that one. All right, that is it for my book haul. Lots of classics, some children's books, a good mix of things. And this will keep me busy reading for quite a while. My reading pace, like I talked about in the last video, has declined. So I don't know really when I'll be getting to these books, but hopefully soon. That's the goal. Alright, well, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye!